Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I have a very cool, I got these last year. These are the olive martinis glasses and they're add-ons. And so I'm doing a Christmas cocktail, of course, today. And these are just some of the elements I'm using from the add-on set. I'm also dragging out my Stitchmas, 12 Days of Stitchmas set that I haven't done anything with yet. And using the banner from the tree, which I think was day 3. And I have embossed with a Simon Says, it's like a spiral dotty pattern embossing folder. I can't remember what it's called. It might be spiral dots. Anyway, and over the raised edge of the spiral dots, or the embossed areas, I'm just using a picket fence white embossing, white ink pad over the top, just to glide over the top there. And it's very gentle, that you just no stress, just gently drag it over the top, and it just highlights those edges. On some like on the more 3D and more detailed embossing folders, you'll actually see that much more than you would on something like little tiny dots, but it's still there and you can still see it. It's really cool. So and that was just on some blue, like really pale blue cardstock that I had in my stash. So there's the martini glass. I cut the extra bit to go in the bottom, so the white bit is kind of, we're having a layered kind of, I mean, I don't know, it's probably me. I don't totally get all the layers, but I've done a little bit of a layer in here. It also helps me so I'm able to put the entire thing onto the card base, because yeah, otherwise it's that very skinny glass, so it's more difficult to work with. So I have the piece for the white piece for the inside of the martini glass. So just imagine some kind of cocktail mix in there, and then there's a blue slither that kind of fits just above it to give you that illusion that there's something inside there, and it gives you that sort of roundness to the glass. And then I am just slowly putting together the candy cane straw and the little berries for the holly. Always get this wrong. And I cut some other little foliage pieces out as well. I've then got the little gingerbread man. I thought he was hysterical because he's a little gingerbread man sitting in this martini glass, and he's got a dollop of what I imagine is whipped cream on top of his head like a hat. I just thought it was funny. Kind of reminds me of Shrek. Is there one bit with the gingerbread man? Anyway, I digress. So I have a white piece and then the sort of gingerbread colour cardstock on top, which I inked with some brushed corduroy, and then I'm adding the little bit of whipped cream on the top as a hat. I just think it's so funny. And this little idea is actually one of the ideas that comes with the set. So I thought I just wanted to recreate. I liked him sitting in this glass of martini. This martini glass of cocktails. A cocktail, Christmas cocktail. So yeah. So I just thought it was cute. So I thought I'd do the same, just to sort of borrow the idea. But it doesn't look the same. It's just an idea, my take on it. So I have the bow now, which I'm adding together. This is the cutest bow as well. Super easy, 3 pieces, job done. It's so simple to put together. I just love it. Love it. And then so there's the like ribbons, the bow bit, and then there's the centerpiece that you just chuck in the middle. And it literally, you follow the shape of the center, and it just helps you know which way up each piece needs to be. So easy. So now I've got all of those together. I do have the Happy Holidays that I used from the Stitchmas. I couldn't think of the word. So I actually cut the banner bit off, and when I then added it to my card at the end, you'll see I could have actually left the banner end of that on there, and it probably would have looked even cuter, but I made it work. So on the back of the Martini glass. I've just added the white, I guess, part of the drink. And then I'm adding in the blue slither, which is kind of like the bit that I said, gives you the illusion that there's like a roundness to the glass, if that makes sense. So it's just very cool. It's very good how it all comes together. So there's the liquid, the elixir. And there is also a Halloween add-on, so yes, please watch out for that. I also have the margarita glass. Oh, I love a margarita. Anyway, so I've got the because the top bit of the glass, if you like, is the two sort of skinny bits at the top. They're like like as you would go into the glass, if that makes sense, the opening of the glass. So you can actually tuck things behind there and make it look like things are actually inside said glass. So I think that's kind of cool. So it just gives it a more realistic look, although none of this is realistic, but you know what I mean. So I'm just tucking him behind that, what would be the front of the glass, but in front of the back part of the glass, and also making him look like he's sitting in the fluid. That's in the fluid, listen to me, inside there. So I kind of put this together bit by bit as I went, which I know sounds logical, but I didn't just stick it to the card and then start putting it together. I put what I could on first and then went back once it's on the card itself to check for height and things like that, because my card is actually slightly smaller than an A2, and this is sized more for an A2 size card, or a sort of taller card. So I made it work basically. So adding my holly on there now. Is it yeah, holly. I keep doing that the wrong way around, but yeah, holly. And there is a mistletoe leaf in there as well, so you could change up the colour of your berries and make them white, and then you've got mistletoe instead. So on the front of the card, I'm just going to add my embossed panel, which is, it's so nice. It's such a pretty colour as well. I have no idea where I got that from. It might have been Simon Says piece in a kit or something. And then I'm just going to add some adhesive to most of the edges here, and then get that stuck down onto the card base. But you see how tall it is. So my card's a little but because my card base is a little smaller than a normal A2, I wasn't worried because it'll still fit in the same size envelope, so it's fine. And I don't mind things sticking out the edge of the card as long as it's not too far off the edge. So yeah, so adding my berries for my mistletoe, no, holly. I will get that right. And now going in with the little foliage, the extra foliage. I think this is always a good idea when you're trying to like bulk an area out or add extra things like leaves, like different foliage, not necessarily flowers as such, because it depends obviously what time of year. So you've got like, berries and things like that for this time of year, but the greenery, if you like, is really good to like fill in and bulk areas out if you need to, just to make it look more full. So I just cut them in two different colour greens for both types of leaves, and then also I've only stuck them down on the very edge so that they're not so they've got like movement, because they're not stuck flat, if that makes any sense. So now I just needed to decide what I was going to do with A, my bow, and B, where I was going to put the sentiment, because the sentiment, although it was a die cut from the Stitchmas, because it's curved slightly, I don't know why, I was just having a hard time figuring out where to put this thing. So I thought, let me get my bow on. So I just plonked that on there, and then I will add some white picket fence over the top, just to make the sentiment a bit more visible. because it's not, it didn't cut all the way through, so if that makes sense. So I couldn't add another piece of cardstock behind it, but I love it. I think it's so sweet. So I decided in the end to actually add them using the edge of them up against the glass, and you'll see that in a second. It suddenly dawned on me when I was doing that. I was like, that'll work better. So, this works fine, but I think also because of what they're meant for, they're not the same curve, if that makes sense. It's not like they could they look like they're on the same curve because of what they were designed for on the tree of the original die. So you can see there the happy looks more curved than the holidays bit, but I think that still looks quite sweet like that, so I went with it. so there's the card, guys. Happy Christmas cocktail day. Is it Christmas yet? I hope you've enjoyed this, guys, and I will be back, like I say, with another drinking vessel kind of card, more than likely Halloween as well. So till next time, guys, bye for now.